A blustery day here at Franklin Field, but senior day festivities full on in the city of Philadelphia, where this afternoon the Penn Quakers play host to the Princeton Tigers in Ivy League action. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining alongside Coffee Jones. Joe Tordy, glad that you could join us this afternoon for some Ivy League football. Coffee, these two teams on the opposite ends of the Ivy League standings, but in a rivalry game like this, you just throw the records right out the window.
Princeton was the earliest even favorite to win the Ivy League, and they're one win away from being Ivy League champions. Penn, on the other hand, had some struggles early on in the season trying to find their footing at the quarterback position and offensively scoring some points. But today, you talked about it, rivalry game, throw the records out of the window. Coach Priori and his team are going to be looking to be spoilers.
In a grudge match like this, you see some heavy hitters, and they start in the middle of the defense for Penn. It's a little bit of a cliche, Coffee, to say that the middle linebacker is the heart and soul of a defense, but in Penn's case, it's absolutely true with Brian O'Neill.
If you're building a middle linebacker, that's what you're going to build. You're going to watch number 5 here today in the red jerseys. He's going to be all over the field. He's got 3.5 tackles for loss. He's their number 2 tackler overall. He's got multiple quarterback pressures. He's got interceptions. This guy will be all over the field. He's up for another Ivy League consideration.
Now, of course, you look on the other side at Princeton. There's a big play waiting to happen in the middle of their defense, and that's Jeremiah Tyler.
Well, he's an All-American. He's a hybrid safety/linebacker. He wears number 5 as well. You'll see him in the white uniform. NFL scouts have been drooling all over this kid with his versatility, and everywhere he could be on the field. You'll see him blitzing. You'll see him in coverage. Watch out for number 5 on both of these defenses.
Kickoff is moments away, and we'll bring you all of the action next. It's Penn and Princeton coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Second quarter just about to begin, and we've seen the fireworks quickly. First, Ryan Cragen, 13 yards from Aiden Sayin. Alan Smith caught a pass from E.J. Perry, and Isaiah Malcolm's 45-yard run for Penn gives them the 14-7 lead. Malcolm trying to get after it again, and this time he's bottled up and dropped. Great pursuit on that Brown defense, and that time Junior Gaffa was able to close in on the flat.
You said a great pursuit because in that first quarter, the reason why Penn was winning the game, they dominated on the ground. Both teams came out and tried to run the ball 7 times for each team, but a total of 70 rushing yards net for the Quakers. 0 rushing yards allowed if you include in the sack yardage by this Quakers defense.
Yeah, that defensive line has gotten after it. Loss of 1 brings up 3rd down and 9 for Sayin. First kind of spot of bother for the freshman. Back to pass. Steps up. Hit as he throws. And it's complete on a bobbled ball. First down Penn. Goldsberry was Johnny on the spot. And Owen Goldsberry plunges over the 45-yard line for a first down.
Well, Joe, you talk about that California cool, and he needed some of that there for this play. My goodness. It's rare you get a ball tipped up in the air, and good things happen for the offense.
Goldsberry, such a dynamic kick returner. That time getting it done offensively. Cragen catches it on the screen, breaks 1 tackle, not going to break the next 2. Malcolm Brunson was in there first. Clayton Perrin came in as well. And Cragen getting a lot of attention from that Brown defense.
See the RPO, they just kind of throw it out to the flat, but here's the previous play. He throws it over the middle and throws it behind his running back, Isaiah Malcolm, but Owen Goldsberry is Johnny on the spot. Makes the play and moves the change for the Quakers.
That was an incredible tip by Malcolm because that's a pick if Malcolm does not tip that. 2nd down and 8. Sayin throws, looking for Cragen, and a flag comes down. Cragen quintuple covered, and he still was able to get a play on the ball. And that'll be another Penn first down.
Just watching the ball come out of Sayin's hand on that throw was one of the best throws that I've seen in the Ivy League. Even though it's an incompletion and it was a pass interference, he just set his feet and just natural arm talent that you could tell he's going to be a force to be reckoned with down the field.
And Coffee, who knows what body language tells you, but there's no jumping, there's no moving, there's no bobbing with Sayin. He just stood and delivered a strike.
Now, I'm not making the comparison for the careers, but I know a guy used to play in New England. He's in Tampa now. He does things like that in the pocket, keeps his feet calm, makes throws. He's from California, too.
Oh, wow. Another tie-in with TB. Sayin. Now Malcolm spins off of contact. Looked as though he might have been able to get free. But good job by Malcolm to pick up about 4 yards there. Talk about comparison. Sayin, the first true freshman to play quarterback for Penn since Alec Torgerson in 2013. That's another guy who made the league.
Yeah, I think he may have that opportunity with the arm strength that he's going to be showing, the weapons that this Penn Quaker team and Ray Priori has continued to recruit to put around him. He could go down as one of the best to ever play here at Franklin Field if he can stay healthy and make the right decisions with the football. So far today he has.
Passing early test, no doubt. Sayin, flushed out. He can move. Sayin hit, and he's able to maybe throw it away. Yes, incompletion is the call. Looked as though he might have been beyond the line of scrimmage too, but only just able to hang on there. Sayin incomplete. Now we'll see about this flag in the secondary. Oh, there's a player down for Penn, and that could explain a lot.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 1, half the distance to the goal, carries an automatic first down.
Goes against Joshua Feely, the strong safety, Coffee, and that's a big play as Penn was kind of in an uncomfortable spot there. Now they move closer to that brown goal line.
Yeah, right now, Sayin is 6 for 7. That's going to take away, well, he was 6 for 7 in the first quarter. Passing the football, but it's going to set the Quakers up just outside the 12-yard line.
See there the Penn quarterbacks assisting in play delivery and deception, which, of course, the same thing. Sayin with trips left. Counter handoff to Malcolm. Malcolm cuts back. Still on his feet temporarily, and we could see, once again, he keeps those feet moving, difficult to bring down even when there's nothing there.
And it's a solid job just making the tackle in the hole. I'm not going to lie, I kind of fell for the flake as well. And you see a little guy like Isaiah Malcolm, he finally gets brought down, but it's Brown's defense.
Malcolm kind of broke onto the scene as a freshman, as a gadget player. He was a guy that you saw at Penn as a punt returner, got into kicks as well, some kind of reverses and things like that. But now he is taken over as the featured back, 3rd in the Ivy League in rushing yards per game, Isaiah Malcolm.
Over 500 yards and 5.9 yards per rushing attempt so far this season for Isaiah Malcolm.
Sayin looking left. Complete, no. Looked like it for a moment, but Goldsberry just unable to hang on. And that's just the second miss of the game for Sayin.
And that's the one where it's a little bit too much California cool. You want him to drive this throw a little bit more. He kind of lays off of it. You see the ball comes up a little bit short, and his receiver tries to make a dive and catch. If you put that on stride in front of him, he may be able to catch that, turn up the corner.
As you've watched quarterbacks, Coffee, what's the difference that you see in a freshman like Sayin versus somebody who's a little bit more seasoned, say E.J. Perry?
Just the footwork. We've seen that earlier on in the game. He gets the ball batted. We had the quick rollout, didn't get his head around fast enough. And that comes with reps and repetition and the speed of the game. This is a lot different than playing high school football as good as it is in California.
Here's Sayin looking, end zone, complete, touchdown on the run, and Penn up 2 scores now. Casilli makes the catch. And Josh Casilli's first touchdown of the year makes it 20-7 Penn.
For everybody that's taking snaps for Penn, from Quinterly to Zanelli, Hugh Brady, we got a clear-cut favorite right now with the arm talent. You see him rolling out to his right and just makes that throw on the run, on the money. I made the Matt Stafford comparison because that was just a natural flick of the wrist from that right arm of the freshman, Aiden Sayin.
I'm thinking Penn might have something here at quarterback. Karish on for the point after try. Kick is up, and it is good. Penn 21 and Brown 7 here in second quarter action. Brown trying to answer when we return, but Aiden Sayin picks up his second touchdown pass of the afternoon, getting it done on the run, and then delivering on time and on target. Penn by 2 scores. Yeah, it's been a back and forth battle every time that these two teams have locked horns. But Penn, we were talking about it during the break, it's still early. You're talking about the second start of a guy's career. But Aiden Sayin just looks a little bit different than some of the quarterbacks that we've seen at Penn the last several years.
And he's definitely got the arm talent, and one of the stronger arms that I've seen just naturally being able to spin the football to be only a true freshman.
And just as a matter of procedure, Coffee, he actually has played football more recently than a lot of people who were here on campus, right? Because as a freshman, a high school senior, you're still playing, and the Ivy League was wiped out last year in terms of football. So even some of the sophomores on the roster, he's played more recently than them.
For the most part, 660-odd days for the Ivy League because of the COVID pandemic. So, like you said, he's got a little bit of a fresher arm than some of the guys that have been sitting out playing in college football.
Take a look at that Brown Bears sideline. And the offense has never really been the question for them each of the last two seasons they've played, 2019 and 2021 here. E.J. Perry, since he's come over from Boston College, has just assaulted the record books. In fact, a lot of the players that are ahead of him on the Brown leaderboard played for their full 3 years. He's only going to have 2 full years playing here for Brown. He's still making a big-time dent in those records. Goes to the air on first down, and that's been his favorite target. Wes Rocket is able to spin ahead for 11 yards on first down to move the chains.
And you see right there just the veteran leadership. He comes out of that play. He looks to his left in the slot and immediately resets his feet, throws it all the way back to the right side, knowing where his outlet receiver was.
Jaden Key's been busy. Another tackle for him. Perry, here comes the heat, stands in, and it's picked off. Morris going the other way. Garrett Morris. Can he race to the pylon? Touchdown!
And you finally get the mistake. That can't be totally blamed on Perry, even though he's thrown 10 interceptions so far this season. Ball gets right past his receiver on that quick slant route. Second play of the drive. And right now, you talked about the bad starts for the Brown Bears so far in Ivy League play. They're down 20 points here in the second quarter.
Morris's first interception of the season. And how about that hands catch? It was tipped a couple of times, once by Morris before he was able to settle it down. And you're right about that, Coffee. That could have been one that was grabbed, kind of through the hands on a hot rocket from E.J. Perry. Another point after try. Karish puts this one through the uprights. Continues to remain perfect on point after tries. 10:35 to go. And Penn has all of a sudden opened it up over Brown here at Franklin Field. Bears trying to answer and get their offense back out on the field when we come back. Well, E.J. Perry had this pass picked off by Garrett Morris and taken back the other way 42 yards to open up a 28-7 lead for Penn. Perry trying to do what he can, but Morris delivering some punishment at the end of the play as well. The Penn faithful here at Franklin Field delighted. Alongside Coffee Jones, I'm Joe Tordy, and this is exactly the kind of start that Penn envisioned. We talked about how both of these teams have kind of been plagued by slow starts scoring, but offense and defense complementing each other really well for Penn.
And just talking to some of the players on the field pregame, what was Coach Priori's message for this week to try to get their first Ivy League victory? He said execute, do your job, be focused, and have fun. And it looks like right now they're having fun, especially on the defensive side of the football.
Garrett Morris is having a monster game, some tackles for loss and the pick six. Stepping in and executing his role pretty well for Penn on that outside linebacker spot. Karish kicks this one off. Another fair catch called for and made. And you're seeing Brown not really endeavoring to bring it out too much. It's difficult to do, but the athletes that they have, you'd think at some point if this score gets to be any worse than it is, you're going to start seeing some guys try to come out.
And I'm really surprised when I see that more and more in college football, especially in the front half of the end zone. So the back line, okay, but these kick returns, they want to get their hands on the ball. They want to make a play, make a highlight, get on SportsCenter. But they're choosing to set their offense up at the 25-yard line.
And I get it, too, if you're at the 15 or something like that, or at the 12 when they're bearing down on you. But that seems like it might be the sweet spot. Perry hands off. DeLucia able to pick his way through for a gain of 2. Brings up a second down and 8.
And that's been what's missing so far in this game for the Brown Bears, their ability to run the football. They've struggled to run it. Came in averaging 133 yards on the ground so far.
Perry back to pass, looking sideline, broken up, incomplete. Nice coverage by McLeod as Wes Rocket tried to make a catch, but perfect position there for McLeod.
Well, Perry threw a rocket to Rocket because that ball was on the money. It hits him right in the 8, between the 8 and the 4 on his uniform, which is great coverage by the Quakers, bringing up a 3rd and long situation.
Coffee, what have you seen Penn doing to limit what Perry does, a guy who's so instrumental in their ground and pass game?
They're being fundamental in their zone coverages. No one's necessarily getting out of their gaps, getting out of their zone drops. The pass rush has been pretty good. Heimlicher, Prince Emili, and those guys up front are getting after the quarterback as well.
Perry delivers up the sideline again, and again tight coverage, face guarding this time, a late flag in, and McLeod was nailed that time, it looks as though.
I'd want to see the numbers in that. How many times that penalty is called on the opposing team's sideline? Like, if that's on the Penn sideline, that may be a no call.
15-yard penalty, carries an automatic first down.
It's interesting that you bring that up, Coffee, because that's 2 plays on the same sideline. First one didn't get called, and Rocket was looking for it, but a fresh set of downs for Brown. And we've been really treated here, Coffee, in this first half to a show put on by these 2 quarterbacks. Very physically gifted players here. DeLucia hit behind the line of scrimmage. He's driven backwards. Nowhere to go. Khalil Lewis was the first one in there for Penn.
You talk about Garrett Moore gets the pick 6, but we've seen 44 all over the field so far in this first half.
2nd down and 11. Perry throws back across to DeLucia, and he turns on the Jets. DeLucia picks up the first down. Big hit delivered by Jakite at the 35, but not before Brown moves the chains once more.
And Adam Conyer, he read that screen. Number 10, he comes in, he gets out late. And you see right there, he's not able to just kind of get those redirects, get those feet up and down. 3rd time they've been burned by the screen pass, being the Quakers defense.
Another fresh set of downs for Brown. Offense has come a long way. In 2018, averaged 14.3 points per game. More than doubled that in 2019 to 30, now 32. Including almost 41 points per game in their last 3. Perry in trouble. He's flushed out to the right. Finds his man complete. Mahoney makes one man miss, and O'Neal shoves him down, but another first down pickup for Brown.
And you see E.J. Perry buying time in the pocket. Offensive line doing a good job. Zone coverage down the field, no one open. And when he scrambles, he finds somebody in the secondary scramble play, picks up another first down for the Bears.
Penn's opened up a big lead over Brown of 3 touchdowns, and the Bears would love to see a response drive here. So far, so good. Flag down. 2 flags.
Ball start. Offense, number 64. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Goes against Hunter Folsom, who left the game in the first quarter, has returned and has been penalized.
Good to see him back on the field for the Brown Bears. One of their starting offensive linemen on that right side. He's lined up against Prince Emili, one of the best defensive tackles you'll find in the Ivy League.
Emili's generated so much attention. You can see all the rollouts. Brown is determined not to let Emili wreck the game. First down and 15. Perry delivers high and wide of his target, incomplete.
I think that one needed to be a little bit high because that ball's thrown a little bit lower. You got a chance to get another interception. And right now, we're closing out the middle of this second quarter. After that pick 6, you need to settle your quarterback down if you're the Brown offense.
Back to pass again, Perry looking up the sideline, and again, this time broken up, incomplete. Looking for Hayes Sutton. So 3 plays in a row. Look like they had the exact same result. 2 no calls and 1 penalty. I don't know. Maybe it's just my untrained eyes, but it looks kind of close.
But they run the motion across the field, and you see right there, Jason McLeod Jr. running stride for stride up the sideline. I don't think you make a call on that play, and the referees didn't. And it's going to bring up a 3rd and long situation again for the Bears.
3rd down and 15. Ball at the Penn 28-yard line. Perry steps up, makes 1 miss, makes 2 miss. He's still on his feet, but no longer. Finally dropped down. Jake Heimlicher picks up his 2nd sack of the day, and he's letting everybody know about it.
Yeah, that was a defensive lineman, too. You want to be the first one to get up, make sure you get credit in the stat sheet as well. Zone defense across the way, nobody open. This is a pure coverage sack, as great as Jake Heimlicher's been so far in this game. That's a coverage sack and a great stop for this Quakers defense.
So Brown sends the field goal unit out. It's going to be a long field goal. 48 yards. Good snap. Good hold. Kick by Marin is up, and it is good. He drilled it from 48 yards. Penn's lead is cut to 18. Inside 7 minutes to go here, and we'll step aside for a breather. Brown gets points on the board and stops the bleeding. Plenty of work still to do. And Penn's offense back out on the field when we come back.